We're here today for a construction industry day. It can be quite daunting for people to have an understanding of what industries are like, what can they do, what do they need to get into it. So today's critical for giving those kids an idea at different local Redlands businesses and opportunities and the TAFE for what courses or what skilling they need to do to get a career in industry. So it's very important for that, and that aligns great from a Redlands Job Committee perspective in our strategy of getting Redlanders employed in the Redlands. We're going to get a tour of the TAFE, and then we're off to Tiny Homes, Teeny Homes and Golding Construction Industries. I'm excited to see the students have those light bulb moments in terms of being able to see where their opportunities might be rather than reading about it or trying to look it up online, actually physically talking to people that are in the TAFE or run the businesses and are looking for staff, what they need to do to get in the industry. I always get excited as a HR professional that there's jobs coming that don't even exist yet.
The construction industry at Redlands is actually booming. With the Olympics coming up in 2032, there's a lot of data around that says Redlands is expanding organically anyway, but when you look at the infrastructure that will need to go in for the Olympics and other projects that are in the Redlands, there's a lot of opportunity for people to get into the construction industry and stay local. At TAFE Queensland Skills Tech Training Centre, we offer construction programs from Cert 1 to Cert 2 to Cert 3. All of the schools in the Redlands have some sort of vet program that you can get involved in, and we call that a trade taster. You come to TAFE and we will teach you some of the basics, or you do a little project across 8 different trades. At the moment we offer electrical, engineering, auto, carpentry, furnishing, bricklaying, plumbing. We're hoping to add painting next year in 2025.
So there are actually 70 different careers in the construction industry. So I guarantee there's a lot of us that don't know beyond what we call the big 3. So carpentry, electrical and plumbing, everybody knows about those, but perhaps not everybody's heard about plastering, tiling and painting. So there are so many opportunities in the construction industry to choose a career of choice.
If you enter into a Vet in Schools program in grade 11 and grade 12, you can actually walk out with a Cert 2 at the end of grade 12. So that contributes to your QCE points as well.
Work experience is definitely the key. There's a bit of a misconception about work experience at the moment. Some students might see it as an opportunity to have a bit of a break from school, but the reality is if they treat their work experience like a job opportunity, and they're also asking themselves the question while they're on work experience, is this something that I can be when I grow up? If the answer is yes, they're on a winner. If the answer is no, that's fine. They simply cross it off their list and move on to the next one. So 1 in 2 apprentices that sign up to an apprenticeship in the construction industry quit within the first 12 to 18 months. So if you're aware of what you're getting yourself into, you've got a much better chance of finishing your apprenticeship and then moving down your career pathway to be whatever it is that you want to be.
The construction industry, it's an incredibly dynamic and exciting industry. I started with a design field, so doing landscape architecture, and it was through that I got exposure to actual construction on site and project management, and that's how it just naturally evolved into becoming a development management role. It just illustrates how diverse the industry can be, how you can start in one position and end up somewhere else. You quickly learn on the job. That's so much of it is learning on the job. As soon as you start getting the rhythm and not being afraid to shift and not being afraid to ask questions, you'll get there. It's literally just putting yourself forward, absorbing everything you can and pivoting if you need to.
I think it's been really good for the kids to see what the jobs are actually like. They were able to see the training facilities and kids actually doing work as well, both high school kids and apprenticeship. I think sometimes kids don't know what they want to do, and that's okay, particularly when they're years 10, 11 and 12. We can have people into schools and do guest speakers and all of that sort of thing, but when you actually see the work and you see the training facilities, that's something that really sells it for kids.
I'm a civil engineer by trade. I started off as a site engineer in the construction industry, mainly on transport and main roads contracts. And then I sort of gravitated towards urban subdivisions because I found there was more sort of autonomy in that. And I enjoyed it a lot more, having a bit more hands-on experience, and progressed to a project manager of a site. We definitely have guys that have done certificates as a starting point, or it's something you can do later. Turn up with a good attitude and be willing to learn. Everyone makes mistakes. No one's expected to be an expert day one. Ask heaps of questions and learn from your mistakes.
Initially, I've been doing a Certificate 2 in electro, and I wanted to go into data, but I've learned that there's so much more within the trade space that I can do, and it's really put some things into my mind for consideration.
I want to look into plumbing. I recently did carpentry, just a 2-week stint. I did 2 of those, but I moved into plumbing and I really enjoyed that. So I'm looking to get into an apprenticeship after school.
We're at Fatini and we spoke to Will, and I've taken an interest after a few months back. I heard from someone else that civil construction needs people as well, because a lot of it's an older demographic, and so they're going to start retiring in the next 10, 5, how many years. So I'm looking forward to trying to get some work with him in Golding. They're looking for keen, hard work and people willing to give it 110% every time. Try something new. If you don't fit out in something, it's always an option to try something.
I've always been in and around the construction industry. I've grown up around it. It's my life. To say it's an easy job it's a lie. It is hard. It's not for the faint of heart, but it's really fulfilling. Come in with a clear attitude and a good one as well. Unfortunately, you're not going to do the glamorous jobs first off the bat. You got to take it in your stride and work hard. A good work ethic will get you a job everywhere. The guys understand that you're going to make a mistake. You just need to move forward with that.
The construction industry here in the Redlands and also in South East Queensland is experiencing undersupply, and that's both from a land point of view and also from a trade point of view. So there's a huge amount of demand coming into the Olympics. I think 900,000 homes we have to deliver. A lot of our young people that end up in a trade may start as a labourer, so that's a good entry level. One of our strategies is to engage young people early, and we even have our own trades on our books now. So typically trades will be subcontractors, but to keep building those next generations of good quality trades that we look for, we have carpenters on our books, we have plumbers on our books now, and that we actually employ directly, and we bring them through apprenticeships. So for us it's critical to have these days and to engage with the young people and show them what we're looking for.
This day has been a great opportunity for me to learn all the trades and all the different opportunities. I've just learnt like there's so many different forms of trades that go into building a house.
Also what each trade entails and learning new opportunities like Fatini, where I can go and look for work experience and an apprenticeship. As a builder, there's different pathways, not just doing carpentry, but becoming a bricklayer could also lead there.
Previously I thought I wanted to be a carpenter, so I've done a fair few blocks with chippies, but the most recent one was an electrical block, which I much preferred, and at the moment I do TAFE, but it's an engineering course, but future I'd like to do a Cert 2 in electrotechnology and then be signed up for an electrical apprenticeship ideally. Electrical sector itself, you can range off to do fridges and air cons, or there's all different like marine stuff, there's all different subsections you can go into.
I'm looking at doing plumbing. I've done some blocks of it already. We're going to residential maintenance. Everyone's really supportive. There's a lot more girls going into it, I've realised.
A lot of young people finish school and have no idea what they want to do, and that's completely okay. I think today is about seeing what's available, seeing what options there are for young people and what pathways there are to enter that career, and just to get an insider's knowledge around what it actually means to be in that job.
From my experience, we always find that work experience is the #1 thing that will get students into apprenticeships and traineeships. At our school, we have quite an extensive work experience program. During year 10, 11 and 12, they do 7 2-week blocks, and we find that that's a way to get to know employers, create partnerships with employers. The students can go back a few times in the same work experience block, and then that way the employer gets to know the student, and the student then actually works out if it is something that they want to do, because it needs to be a good fit between the student and the employer.
There's heaps of contractors that come in heaps of roles in building a tiny home in particular. Right from the start, it starts with building designers, architects to draw up plans, do electrical plans, plumbing plans. Then it goes to a lot of our suppliers who build our skids and our frames. So then our builders have to put them all together. Our builders also do insulation, the wall linings, things like that. Work experience or something like that is definitely the most valuable thing you can do. There's heaps of jobs, we're always looking for people, and so are many other people. But it's good to get in it, especially while you're young. You can learn from the start, learn all of their tricks of the trade. If you don't like one thing, you can easily switch to another. And yeah, the best way to learn is just get into it.